Peace be to you all. Just want to share something briefly as I'm walking here. Following last week's assassination of Charlie Kirk, and also looking at developments that I guess just about all of us are wondering where or what's going to happen next. But my main concern is with those who are believers, and how they should respond to the situation. So, last week I shared my part, my thoughts, my heartfelt thoughts as far as how we're supposed to be as believers, and I still stand by what I said last week. But I do want to caution Christians in how they desire to carry the torch of Charlie Kirk and run with it. That we must be cautious that we're not doing things in a manner that only reflects retaliation. I think the majority of the reports that we've been seeing so far have been good. Vigils, prayers, celebrating his life, how he gave his life as well, and it's been peaceful so far. But there's always going to be factions of those who, naming themselves as Christians, begin to have a rhetoric that does not reflect who Charlie was, nonetheless using his name. And I want us to be cautious about that. Let's be making sure that in what we're going to do, it's going to be just as he approached his dialogues. An open platform, peacefully, respectfully as well, and non-violent. So I'm hearing some folks who call themselves Christians saying that they are tired of turning the other cheek. And it's time for them to defend themselves and retaliate. So I want to have a word of caution to them and anybody who might be tempted to do that. The moment you say you're tired of turning the other cheek, the moment you say that, you're showing that you never understood who Christ was to begin with. You're also making your sufferings look like they were greater than the sufferings of Christ, who time and time again cautioned the church, cautioned his believers that they will and must suffer persecution. They will and must suffer persecution. It's expected. For you to say you're tired of turning the other cheek, you're denying Christ. You're saying you really didn't understand who he was to begin with. The moment you guys are tempted to take up arms and fight, you're denying who he was and how he approached the gospel he was preaching, which was, he didn't come to judge but to save. So let's be clear on what it means for us to carry the torch of Charlie Kirk. Peaceful platform of dialogue. I do have two quick passages I want to read, especially from the book of Revelation, which is a great book to help us and guide us in these last days, okay?
When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth? Then a white robe was given to each of them, And it was said to them that they should rest a little while longer, until both the number of their fellow servants and their brethren, who would be killed as they were, was completed.
The book of Revelation just affirms it again, that God has those who will need to give their lives for the sake of the gospel. There's nothing wrong with having a sense of justice. Nonetheless, these people gave their lives. It says nothing about them taking the lives of anybody. And they were given a white robe and told, wait until your own co-servants and brothers die just like you guys. They were told, rest. And this is the thing that we have to realize about these last days. We are called to give our lives. The moment you decide you're going to retaliate, you're showing that you're not willing to listen to what Christ said. And so where's that written as well? To show that we're encouraged to give our lives. That's in the book of Revelation again, chapter 13, verses 9. Starting from that verse again. Listen to what it says.
If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Retaliation is not optional. We ought to be peaceful in everything that we approach within this gospel and represent the representation of who this man was and how he gave his life. I understand it's a tough thing to do. I know that vengeance is such a human instinct of ours. You want to retaliate. But there's nothing divine about it. It's important that, again, if you're going to say you're going to be carrying the torch of Charlie, do it the way he did it. Peacefully, without retaliation, and making sure that you're representing Christ. You have to learn that the gospel, the message of it, is a message of reconciliation, turning people towards God, even speaking a truth that hurts, but nonetheless one that heals and saves. That's all I have to say. Bye.